I've always said it that injustice to one is injustice to all. Now so it take me. Oh, now they hear me. What we fail to condemn today, tomorrow, it will take its revenge on us. Let me coagulate better. I want to use this Buhari and Tinubu matter, explain this case. When Buhari was there, doing all in nepotism and everything, the northern people did not talk. They kept quiet. Now who is there? Emiloko Tinubu from Southwest, Onye Yoruba. Now he is doing the exact thing the Buhari did. Carry everybody, Lagos boys, Yoruba boys, carry them full everywhere. In fact, they are now taking over Abuja. But had it been that when Buhari was doing it, somebody condemned it, it shouldn't have repeated itself in the Tinubu government. But the Northerners kept quiet. Now they are the ones crying. Hey, we have been disenfranchised. Hey, no appointment to us. This one, that. When your brother was doing it, it was okay. But when another person started doing it for his own people, it became an anomaly. And just to make I set this example given so that I go carry on and I enter the gist I won't give you in total for proper understanding. This case will concern Nnamdi Kanu, where everybody keep quiet, nobody they talk anything. I am happy that finally a northern legal practitioner he don't come out and he don't explain some kind of things wey concern the judgment of Nnamdi Kanu delivered on the 15th of December 2023 by the Supreme Court. He gets some kind of things where him talk. He praised the Supreme Court. He said, "Wanna do well." You guys pointed out the ills. You pointed out the errors in the judgment delivered by the lower court, the appeal court. But when I not can finalize them well, I not can cement them well, conclude them well, end them well by releasing that man Nnamdi Kanu, or better still, granting him bail so that he could face the charges with the nakana on top of his head. Or I still live with DSS, make it there. In fact, make I not talk too much. My happiness be say, nah, a northern, now they talk this one. Me no bless now. Southeast, Igbo people, Igbo, northerner, and he is acquainted with the law. Now lawyer he be, or they are acquainted with the law. Just watch this thing, watch it very well to the end. Then come comment section and tell me what you feel about this video. Wait, I won't play for you now. Watch it oh. It's not the Igbo man that say this one no. It is somebody from the north. Watch it oh with open mind. Then come and tell me that he lied. Or they talk the truth. Come and tell me in the comment section. Go watch.
Let me start by saying that the entire trial of Nnamdi Kanu, to me, this is me speaking, I think it's a needless exercise. It's an exercise in futility. The government is busy making monsters out of Nigerians, pushing Nigerians to the wall and pushing a lot of persons to the wall. I do not think that it was proper in the first place, given the fact that the government has a lot of issues on its table to deal with. The issue of poverty, the issue of hunger, and so on and so forth. For the first time, if my memory serves me right, this will be the first time in the history of this country where Nigerians, one of the most populous countries in Africa, and one of the richest countries, if I'm not mistaken, in the whole world, will be protesting and asking the government, protesting and saying that they are hungry. Protesting. It happened in Kanu, in Mina, I think somewhere in Kanu it happened. And even in Abuja, there's a lot of protests against hunger and mismanagement of government. So I think the trial was needless in the first place, and the government should focus on a lot of issues. The government has a lot to do. Do not forget that the government spent resources and everything to be trying Omoyele Sowore. Members of the media, you are aware that that charge has been dropped with all the monies, with all the media hype. it has been dropped. The government shamelessly, entered a nolle prosequi, and the matter is dropped. So, what is the essence of all this kind of trial? Now, back to the judgment of the Supreme Court, the one delivered on the 15th. The Supreme Court addressed a lot of issues on that matter and laid certain matters to rest. For instance, a lot of what is in the public domain is that Nnamdi Kanu jumped bail. That was, even myself, I was compelled to believe, you understand, that he actually jumped bail. But the Supreme Court laid this matter, not just the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal agreed. You get the point. The Court of Appeal agreed. They said no. He agreed with Nnamdi Kanu that he didn't jump bail. Rather, the state made it impossible, you understand, for Nnamdi Kanu to appear in court. That was what the Court of Appeal stated. The Court of Appeal went further to say that the trial judge was aware of all these facts put before it, but he turned a blind eye to these issues. I was amazed when I read this. I read it myself. I wasn't told. In fact, the Court of Appeal the Supreme Court indicted the trial judge and said that the impartiality of the trial judge is called to question. I'm not making this up. I urge members of the public to take a look at the judgment of the Supreme Court of 15th December 2023 pertaining Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, read specifically the judgment of Justice Agim, I think somewhere around page 10 to 13, where they rebuked the trial judge in all this. So what is more? So the Supreme Court made a very, very succinct pronunciation on that matter. Now, however, the Supreme Court reinstated having found out all this, that Nnamdi Kanu did not jump bail, and he was illegally extradited from Kenya to Nigeria. The Supreme Court, in its wisdom, reinstated the 7-count charge earlier struck out by the Court of Appeal. Do not forget that it was a total of 15-count charges. You understand? And the Court of Appeal, in its wisdom, struck out 8, remaining 7. So the Supreme Court, while agreeing with the Court of Appeal, you understand, that Nnamdi Kanu was illegally abducted. In fact, they used the word abducted and kidnapped. These were the words of the Supreme Court and not my words. So the Supreme Court agreed with all this. But in its wisdom, it went ahead to reinstate the 7-count charge earlier struck out by the court below, that is the Court of Appeal, and ordered a retrial of this case. Well, the Supreme Court is the apex court of the land. Nobody there is according to our big brother in the legal profession, Michael Zekome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, he said that the Supreme Court is a big masquerade, So we leave it at that. But the Supreme Court ordered a retrial of the court of the matter. I would have expected, with all due respect, I am not questioning the decision, you understand, because it's final. But in my own way, as a legal practitioner, I would have expected that, having agreed that Nnamdi Kanu was illegally abducted from South Africa and kidnapped, and illegally extradited to Nigeria without following all the extradition processes both in Kenya and in Nigeria. Initially, before now, I was thinking that the Kenyan government was even part of this illegal abduction, but the Supreme Court laid that to rest to say that Kenyan government wasn't part of it. In fact, they were oblivious of what happened. Now, having agreed, with all the evidence presented by Nnamdi Kanu, who incidentally was the respondent in the matter, the Supreme Court, the list, with all due respect, that I expected the Court of Appeal to have done, the list was to order that Nnamdi Kanu be released on bail. You've agreed with all the indices. You understand? Breach of law, in fact, gross violation, brazen. These are some of the words, you understand, they use. Brazen, gross violation. You understand? You have agreed. Due processes was not followed. You also agreed that due processes is sine qua non, is very, very important to criminal charges. Not just criminal charges. In every trial, I would have expected that the Supreme Court should have said, okay, go home, so that you'll be coming from your home to the courts. Since you asked for a retrial, go home so that you'll be sane. You'll be the young man will be in his right frame of mind. Because listen, you need to be in your right frame of mind to stand trial.
Imagine a country where its citizens get to enjoy the road without this. Imagine a country where unprecedented fuel scarcity does not cause panic at the filling station. That is why Innocent Vehicles has embarked on manufacturing environmental friendly gas powered cars while still offering comfort, luxury and doggedness for the African roads. Innocent Vehicles, the pride of African roads.